Hello Internet, I am Rarest, and recently I came into the acquisition of an extremely rare knife in the game Counter-Strike Global Offensive through means of trading, and it got me thinking, how rare is this knife really? Well, I did some research and found that my knife, a gut knife, Black Pearl Minimal Wear, has only 3 of these knives in the world, 2 of which are duplicated, and the duplicated one is obviously tied for first place. My knife is one of these 2 tied for first place, and it got me thinking, what other rare knives are there? Is this the rarest knife in the game? We have the StatTrak Factory New Karambit Crimson Web, which there are still more of in the game. So today we're going to be exploring what the rarest knife in Counter-Strike is, and is it rightfully so? Now, to sum up, for those of you who don't know exactly how the knife skins in Counter-Strike work, essentially when you open a case, which costs $2.50 to open, you're awarded a random skin from within that case. Each weapon skin, depending on its rarity, has a certain chance to drop, blues being the most commons, then purples, then pinks, then reds. And then beyond the reds, you can get the exceedingly rare item known as the knives within the cases. Now, to get a Doppler knife, you have to open a case from within the Chroma through Chroma 3 cases, so Chroma 1, Chroma 2, Chroma 3, and you have a chance to be dropped a knife that is a Doppler knife. Now, when you get a knife from those cases, it is not necessarily a Doppler. You can also get a Damascus steel, a rust coat, a tiger tooth knife, and I believe ultraviolet is the other skin that comes within that case, if I am not mistaken. So, when it comes to why this knife may be the rarest, is because you can only get Dopplers from 3 out of the many cases within the game. Now, within Dopplers, there are even rarer forms of them, such as the Ruby and Sapphire variants. Now, the Ruby and Sapphires are estimated to have about a 2 to 3% drop chance when you get a Doppler. So hypothetically, you get a knife from a Chroma case. Hypothetically, that knife is a Doppler. Then within that Doppler, you have a chance between 2 to 3%, that is, to get either a Ruby or Sapphire, which is a pure blue or pure red Doppler. Then, the rarest variant of these knives is known as the Black Pearl, which has less than a 1% chance of dropping from an unboxed Doppler. Now, these Black Pearls show mainly a black color, hence their name. It looks to me a lot like a faded purple, with little hints of fading pink, yellow, or green scattered throughout it. Now, with this in mind, that might explain why, in my scenario, there are more of the knife I own than there is of the single most expensive knife in the game, the StatTrak Factory New Karambit Crimson Web, because the Crimson Web can drop from way more cases than just the 3 that I listed in which the Doppler can come from. And unlike a Black Pearl, if you get a Crimson Web, you get a Crimson Web. There's no beating around the bush with it. Whereas with a Doppler, you have to get the Doppler from the case that there's only 3 cases to get it from, and then you still need to get the Black Pearl, which has a less than 1% chance of being awarded to you. Now, onto part 2 of what makes this knife so rare. When it comes to the factory new and minimal wear only knives within the game, these knives include Dopplers, Gamma Dopplers, Fades, Marble Fades, Tiger Tooths. What I mean by the factory new minimal wear only is that when you unbox these knives, the only conditions they can come in is factory new and minimal wear. However, minimal wear traditionally as a float range goes from 0.07 all the way up to 0.14, which is identical to the amount of range that factory new has. They both have from 0 to 7 as far as the percentage of wear that can be shown. Now, with these knives that I have listed, they cap out at 0.08 float value. So odds are, when you unbox one of these knives, you have a 90% chance or more of getting a factory new, which, as I've said, getting a Black Pearl alone is it's close to impossible. Odds are you're going to hit the lotto before you unbox a Black Pearl. Now, to get it minimal wear is a whole nother ball game. So first off, you have to get lucky enough to get a black pearl. Then you have a 90% chance of it being factory new. So my knife, the reason there's only 3 of them in the world, or 2 if you're not counting non-duped, is that odds are you aren't going to unbox this knife, let alone in the minimal wear of conditions. Now onto the real question in this video. What is the rarest knife in the game? Well, I did some digging. I didn't want to stop at the fact of, well, my knife's rare. It's more rare than a Stat Track Factory New Crimson Web. I wanted to explore all the knives, so that's exactly what I did. And currently at the time of me making this video, which is August 4th of 2017, there are still currently 0 Karambit Black Pearl minimal wears unboxed, period. As far as other Black Pearl minimal wears, the gut knife is the rarest, aside from the Karambit, seeing as how there are 0. Then I decided to look outside of just the Dopplers and the Black Pearls. With that said, I still found that the Karambit, which has not been unboxed, would in theory be the rarest. However, I don't know if I would count it as the rarest, seeing as how it has never been unboxed. For all we know, it doesn't even exist. Whereas the gut knife, we at least know that they exist. So, what is the rarest knife? Depends on how you look at it. If you're counting the Karambit Black Pearl minimal wear, then that is the rarest. If you're not counting that, it would be the knife that I have recently acquired, the gut knife Black Pearl minimal wear. Well, I guess it's good to be me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you found my insight useful. Please rate the video on what you thought. If you think that I rambled too much and made a shitty video, please give it a thumbs down. If you enjoyed the content that was here and you found it useful, please give it a thumbs up to let me know what you are thinking. Also, please consider supporting me on Patreon. I will have my Patreon linked down in the description. If you don't know what Patreon is, it's essentially like the Twitch subscriber feature where if you like a particular content producer, you can give them a certain amount of money per month to show your support for them. Unlike with Twitch where it's like a set fee of like $9.99 or something, with Patreon you can give as little or as much as you'd like to give. So if you like the content I put out and you'd like to show your support in that way, any donations on Patreon would be very much appreciated, but of course they are not demanded. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to rate. This is Rarest 1080p, signing out.